I began work on this 1928 Sessions pendulum clock. Very simple clock. It does not have a chiming side. It's entirely just time wind up with a mainspring and a pendulum. And so far, it's I just barely have started it. I bought this for $45 in an antique shop. Somehow, paint was dripped on the side of this, and you can see where it was. What I've been doing is very carefully chipping away, not scraping, just chipping. By pushing down with a knife blade very carefully, it just pops off because it wasn't on there tight. But you can see how old this is. This is 97 years old, and you look at the crud on it. I mean, this old baby has been around for a long time, hanging on a wall. And you can see the label back here. I read the label up here. It's 2812. In other words, 1928, 12th month, and yeah, it's called the Lexington, a Sessions banjo clock. So anyway, with that, I'm going to get back to work. And late at night, kind of quiet around here, so I'm going to keep chipping away and see if I can't get this weird paint drip that dripped on this old thing so many years ago. The paint is just brittle dry. So all you have to do is just press down with a knife blade, like I said, and it'll pop right off. So anyway, I thought you might enjoy this. I just started working on it, and I'm looking forward to restoring this clock and hanging it up on the wall and having it ticking away with a pendulum swinging. It should be very peaceful, very nice. Well, last night I began working on this 1928 Sessions banjo clock. I've got it leaning right now because I'm going to begin working on cleaning it. I did manage to chip off all the rest of the paint as much as possible, but it's some of it is kind of adhered to the surface, and I think I'm going to be able to get that off with some steel wool and some Murphy's oil soap. So we'll get started on this and see how it comes out. Well, in order to expedite cleaning of this clock, and particularly the one I was showing you in the earlier video of using a steel wool and the Murphy's oil soap, I was going to go ahead and take off the hands and take off the clock face. And it's a fairly easy matter, and especially since these clock hands are on with only a nut. And this right here is a nut that just spins right off, and then you just take off your minute hand and your hour hand. And once they're off, then you undo the screws around the edge of the clock face, and the whole front of the clock just comes off. Your works are still inside the mechanism. But once that's off, and that also removes this domed glass rim, which makes it basically just everything's stripped right down to where it's nothing but your wooden superstructure around it, and you can go ahead and be clean without the impedance of trying to work around the metal clock face rim. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and take these hands off and just remove the whole thing, and then we can go ahead and go on with the rest of the cleaning of the woodwork. So yesterday I removed the door and the front of the banjo clock. You can see the works up inside there. As a matter of fact, that's where you can see the mainspring right there. You see the pendulum where it comes down. And I removed them in order to be able to clean them adequately without having to fight moving the whole clock around. So anyway, here's the door that I cleaned, and really came out nice. Really came out nice. We got some more work to do. The thing that's remarkable about this, these are put together with mortise and tenon. It looks like a biscuit type of thing there in the corner where everything was just held together beautifully. And then the little artwork piece here, which is on cardboard from 1928. is actually held in by little glued in strips. Very, very carefully glued in strips hold that cardboard in place. It's kind of puffed out because of its ancient. So been around for, what do we say, 93 years. So anyway, so that's the little door that I took off. And like I said, I've already polished this up, cleaned it, took a lot of grunge off from it with the steel wool and the Murphy's oil soap. Okay, let's go to the next part. And let's see, where is it? Right here. And here's the front of the clock. And boy, this thing cleaned up beautifully. And all that is faux inlay. That is not real inlay. I think what they did, they had some sort of, well, I don't know. They had some sort of mask on it to where the stain was applied all around it, but not on it. Pretty neat job, all I can say, to be able to get it that cleanly, that neatly. It must have been some sort of tape or something that they applied. And every one of these looks the same. The one that's on the internet looks exactly like this. So anyway, really cleaned up, very pretty. And so you can see the shine on it when after you clean all the 93 years of grunge off from it, boy, it just comes up so beautiful. So, all right, so what I'm doing now is this morning, kind of making a break from the usual. And get this. By the way, I'm in a motel bathroom here working on this while my wife is sleeping. This is one of the little scrollwork brass pieces. And this is the front. That's the back. And it's the same way on both of them. There's grunge all over the back of it, but not the front. Totally weird. Yeah, here's the other one. There's the back. There's the front. Well, they're both going to get some Brasso put on them this morning with some steel wool and clean them up, and we'll kind of see where it goes. I don't know. I'm hoping they come up as nicely as everything it has with the wood. So with that, I'm going to get to work. So welcome back. Before we go any further, I just wanted to show you, I've just been briefly working with some Brasso. This is real brass. Beautiful. This is the back, where it looked like that. And that's what is coming up. Okay, I'm just going to keep on working, but I think that is so cool. It's real brass. It's beautiful. By the time we get this clock put back together, it's going to be a beauty. And I'm so looking forward to it. Well, guys, we're back up in Vermont. And after doing just about all the work needed to work on the case while we're away on the trip, I am about ready to go ahead and take the movement out. So I've got it resting on my toolbox here, and let me just show you this. The glass and frame has to it's hinged on this side, has to pivot out away from this, and once that's open, I'm going to go ahead and take the hands off. Once I take the hands off, there are, let's see, I think it's 3 screws. Oh, here, let me get this open for you, and I'll pick it back up in just a minute. I was wrong. There are 5 screws, and just 5 small brass screws. And so I'm going to go ahead and get those. This particular unit, instead of there are 2 kinds of fastenings, maybe more, I don't know, but there are 2 kinds of fastenings. There's a nut that holds the hands on one, and there's a pin that holds the hands on another. My parents have a very old one, and it just has a single pin, a taper pin going down through the arbor, and but this just has a little nut on it, and once you take that nut off, and there's the little nut right there. It's conical, and you see right there. It fits down over your minute hand. Your minute hand comes right off with no problem. The hour hand, however, is on there with it's a taper fit, I think. And let me see if I can get it off. If I can't, I'm going to have to get a hand remover and move that. All right, I'm going to let this go for now, and I'll be back to you in a minute. All right, I got it off. Actually, it's got quite a sleeve that fits down over the arbor here. So anyway, that's that. And I'm going to go ahead and take these 5 screws out and take the face off, and then we can get at the movement that is inside. Well, I've removed the rim and the glass, and now the face is ready to come off from there. And there is the movement. And this face is in good shape. The rim. This is a very, very dirty clock. I was in contact with John Tope, the man whose course I am taking, and in the midst of my conversations, I told him what clock I had and what I was going to be doing. He said this would be a good clock to start with. So anyway, I'm going to work on this, and going to be my very first clock to work on, and quite nervous. I'm not sure I know exactly what I'm doing, but we're going to do the best we can. I'm probably going to wait and do any filming of this tomorrow. It's getting late and I need to get to bed, and I want to be sharp when I'm doing this. But just looking at the movement, it is very dirty, and it's going to take considerable disassembly and cleaning to get this old girl in shape. A Sessions banjo clock from 1928. And let's see what it'll do. It's only a time movement, not a strike movement. And I'm really looking forward to doing my very first clock. That'll do it for our first adventure in clock repair. I'm calling this series The Old Timers because that's what these old clocks are. They're wonderful old pieces of history, and this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. I want you to understand that I am by no means done with little girl and all the work that I'm going to be doing on her, all the work I have done on her, and I'm going to be looking forward to getting her back in the water. But working on clocks is something I've wanted to do for a very long time. As I move on toward retirement, by the way, today is my birthday, 71, and I have no plans to retire. But at the same time, I do want to learn this skill just as I learned and worked on violins for 20, 30, I don't know, between 30 and 40 years. I've done violin repair for schools and individuals and teachers and so forth. Well, I wanted to learn this because old clocks are just fascinating to me, and I've already gone through the first 2 courses in basic clock repair. I've already completed the advanced course, and now I've moved on to the professional course, which I'm by no means professional. It's just what they term it from what they teach. And so I'm working on it, and I hope you enjoyed this. This first episode is short, and it basically deals with finding the clock and getting it taken apart and doing some cleaning on it. I'll have some more pictures at the end of this that you can see of how it all came out. But then in this next episode, we take the movement out of the clock and work on it and completely disassemble it, clean it, put it back together, adjust it, do all the things that are necessary until we finally get this old clock, 1928 Sessions banjo clock, put back together, hung up on the wall, and right back into the swing with the pendulum, as it should be. I mean, it's a fine old clock, and it deserves to be running. So, hope you've enjoyed this. We'll catch you on the next episode in the near future when we get into the work that we're going to be doing on the movements. Hope you enjoyed this. Take care.